Hi, everyone. My name is Prosperous, one of the members who participated in this project as a senior researcher. I'm going to present about the title, Lack of Knowledge and Language of Sexual Harassment Among Young Women in Kampala Urban District of Uganda. We had a group of researchers and several findings on the project. We had a lot of information on knowledge and language. I will begin with discussing about lack of knowledge of sexual harassment among the participants. Majority of young women lack knowledge of meaning and forms of sexual harassment. They think sexual harassment is rape. Young women lack knowledge of communicating sexual harassment. At each stage of communication, there is distortion of messages. For example, peer-to-peer discussions and talks, they have a lot of detail. When they come to local leaders, they start editing. And by the time they get to the police or even the court, they have distorted original information. Many young women expressed lack of evidence for bad touches and proper vocabulary to explain such. In courts of law and police, this may lead to dismissal of a case. Many young women confuse abusive words or verbal sexual harassment with appreciative ones. For example, Oliko Etutu, you have pointed breasts. Demon Kuba, you attract me. Mwana Goabala, you are gifted with a nice body. Such sentiments confuse them. We have information as well, findings on lack of knowledge. Forms of sexual harassment range from verbal, including offensive remarks, to physical ones. Language has been identified as one of the major hindrances for these young women to report sexual abuse. The vocabulary to describe forms of harassment is inadequate. Many words in Uganda, which is the commonest language used in the area of study, are taken to be obscene, which hinders voice and agency. There is a lot of ambiguity in the use of words. For example, okukwata, which means to touch in English, but in this sense, the victim means being raped. Okulya, which means to chew or to eat in English, but according to the victim, it means sexual intercourse. Okujjula ebitayidde in English, meaning eating half-cooked food, but in real sense of the matter, it means defilement. I will briefly share my screen to look at one of the body maps where we see young women expressing themselves. Many of them in groups are free to express and talk about sexual harassment. As you can see in the map, it was flooded with information, with words and examples, and all the detail they needed about sexual harassment in a group. However, many confessed how shameful one goes to police to report such. We have some notes to go our with. Remember, sexual harassment is the unwelcome and inappropriate sexual behavior and remarks and physical advances. And according to statistics in Uganda, 1 in 3 women are victims, all survivors of sexual violence, including young women between the age of 18 and 24 years, who are sexually harassed at the places of work. Uganda has several labor laws for protecting workers, although sexual harassment still goes on and many perpetrators go unreprimanded. Unemployment and unemployment are rampant among youth. Employment is very crucial for their survival and empowerment in all aspects. Despite that, a lot of sexual abuses are going on in workplaces. This study was purely qualitative, where interviews were held and focus group discussions And we used body maps, as you've seen, and safety audits in the study. We have some recommendations on communication challenges around sexual harassment. All companies, irrespective of the number of employees they employ, should be required to orient the employees about sexual harassment at work and reporting mechanisms. Researchers, civil society, cultural institutions should work together to document appropriate language to describe sexual harassment. This comes out as one of the main recommendations whereby people should be free to talk about sexual harassment, to express themselves, and be able to report where necessary to the various places, and they freely have the language to use. And when they report, they shouldn't be seen as people with indiscipline or being obscene and their life. Lastly, there is need for digital reporting mechanisms which reduce face-to-face interactions with authorities such that young women are able to report and they are free to express themselves about sexual harassment. I would like to thank you so much for listening to my presentation. Nice time. Thank you. Bye-bye.